Next exercise is called oxypodal. So this, we're going to lift our hip like before. We're going to reach our hip out, and then we're going to drop our hip down, and then we're going to use our hip to pull this back. So it's like we're dragging our hip, our step back. Pick up our hip, reach out, drop, pulling it back. So whenever we do our leg movements, right, we've got this kind of thing going on, which means my sphere is going like this. And our movements, again, the same. We have the sphere that will do all sorts of spherical-like movements whenever we engage our arms. So rather than I move my arm forward, I turn my chest to move my arm forward. Or if I want to chop to the side there, I use my chest rather than my arm. So like we were doing before, we're trying to use different muscle groups to engage for different tasks that are normally done by smaller muscle groups and weaker muscle groups. So we can connect the whole body to work it as a single unit. This is my favorite. This is the kind of thing like you're a bouncer at a bar, you just start to walk with this. It's like, okay, we're going to the door, buddy. Right. So you can see here, I weave my way through like the constrictor. I eat up the space here. You can see my Baguazhang stepping is coming into play here. It's never like a 1, 2, 3. It just comes in as if like I'm just walking forward. We're here now. Crunch this flank. Bring hands right above each other. Point the heart in between hands. Bring it across. The entire time the heart is pointed between the hands. So here, still pointed between the hands. Across, still pointed between the hands. And across. Just going straight. It's Baguazhang, not straight to this. We're at the same time going to start walking. Right? Now the reason why this is important is because the technique, the palm that's going out, is not actually going straight. It's going straight in relation to my body, but not his body. So if we watch this really slow, I start straight, but as I step, now it's angling, right? So what started as a straight jab here is now turning here. And because of the way that I'm turning and I'm extending, it makes it into an arc on its way in, which is a lot harder to deal with than a straight line. Straight lines are kind of easy because you can see, that's going this way. I can block like this. But it's coming down an arc on the way in. It's like, that's multiple dimensions of movements at the same time. So we create one dimension of movement straight with our arms, while the second dimension is added by our stepping. And of course, we're not going to stop stepping, or we're going to go through, go in and back. The thing to mention about any kind of circle blocks or any kind of strikes like this, right, is there's not one part of the circle that is the strike or the block. Everything is the strike or the block. There should never be a point where like I emphasize the power, then I let it go, then I emphasize the power, and then I let it go. It should have power all throughout. I should be able to fudge it at any point in the circle. Yeah. And eventually, the binary part of it, of the expressive singleness of the fajit, becomes a circle, where the whole thing is expressing power. So if you try to prevent me from doing this, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like that for breaking it down. But eventually you want the power to be
Right.
the whole thing.
The fencing.
Okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Power of the body, power of internal. That's how that makes sore arms. You can also, by do the same thing, right? I start to eat this space. It just becomes like a game. So if we just like freestyle kind of a little bit, just kind of play, we kind of like are always trying to eat this space. Right? Yeah. So as you can see, like we're feeding around here, or inside here, or through here. Through there is a good one.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's kind of like a soccer
Yeah, yeah.
kick.
So if Jeremy